Hey Residence Life staff, it's Martin here. Just to quickly chat to you, I guess, about professional development and what it means to me, and pass on some tips that I've used that have been successful for me and passed on to friends, and they've found success as well. So here's my opportunity to share it with you. A couple of the ideas that I have that always makes me interested in these types of things is there's so many students, and I was one of them, that go through university and think of it as just a time to pass tests and to pass courses. And you lose sight of the fact that really this is a training period for young adults to gain some experience, to add to their resume, to develop some skills, and to network with people who have the opportunity to give you a career in the future. So I'm going to pass on 5 tips that I use almost daily to put myself on the right track for whatever life brings me professionally. So the first one I wanted to mention was always keep a job search going. This should just be part of your professional activity, to scour job boards, to see what types of organizations are hiring. And I do bookmark those things, so it's very easy to go back and find the job boards. I don't need to be logging into nipissingU.ca, going through a bunch of clicks to find the job. So I bookmark the job board itself, so one click gets me to where all the jobs are. And the reason I give this tip is to keep a job search going is it always gives you the insight as to what skills are required and needed in your area of profession or interest. So one example might be that I'm frequently seeing on job boards that knowing how to use Excel proficiently is something that's big. So that would be something that then I would chart as some sort of professional development that I would look to gain experience and maybe even do some side projects using Excel, so then I can say to an employer in the future, I'm proficient and here's some examples of projects that I've worked. And the second piece is that usually we only know about the jobs that we've passed or that have crossed our paths. So that's something our parents did, or something that maybe we've went to a big city and saw that there was a job available there, or whatever it is in your sector. So having a job board or a job search going where you're frequently looking at what jobs are available gives you insight as to what different jobs are out there for you to get. And I bet you lots of them that you've been interested in, just haven't crossed your paths, so you might not know. The second tip I have is to plan your development and be intentional about it. So again, we're at a time, you're at a time at your university career when you can explore different opportunities and get some experience doing it, whether that's through volunteering, whether that's through knowing that a skill's particularly needed, so investing some of your own time and money into doing that, whether it's when you're on duty or whether it's on some spare time or a Saturday morning. You have to be intentional about what you're learning, or else you're just doing other people's training for them. So most trainers deliver something that they think is important to them, but that might not be important to you. So being intentional means planning your own development, your own personal development, to suit your needs, and go from there. The third tip I have is always, always, always keep an updated version of your resume. And there's 2 reasons for doing this. One, it's always difficult to go back and try and remember what it is you did over the course of a year or 2 or 3 years. And you often lose track of some great things that you've done. And number 2, it's always easy if someone you meet through networking or whatever asks you for a copy of your resume, that it's really easy to send it to them promptly rather than having to go home and spend time updating it. So I do two things. One, I have a massive resume that I keep on file called my master resume. And this is now probably 5 or 6 pages of all the work I've done, all the training I've done through those things, and all the responsibilities I've had. Massive. And what I do then is if I do see a job opportunity that I'm interested in, then I can go hand pick experiences to provide on that shorter resume to give to a prospective employer. So if they're asking for training experience, well, I can go to my Res Life section and copy out all the points and responsibilities that I have related to training. If it's customer service, I can go back to some other jobs that I've had and maybe select those. So it's important, I think, to keep a long version of your resume, unlimited amount of pages, unlimited amount of detail, and then from there, when you need to send it out, you can get it down to that 2 pages that people think is a good length for a resume. So that's number 3. Update your resume often and always. The fourth point I have is about networking. Networking has really been flipped on its head through the advancement of social media. So I would encourage any of you to apply or log in or set up a LinkedIn account. It's the way that the new generation is using their resume. So you're constantly online, you're constantly updating your professional resume, and people are able to look at it and gauge whether you fit the criteria already for a job, or maybe you've met them in a different setting, and they can check back and add you to their network of people that they deal with. The next thing I often tell people is attend. You have to attend events in order for your name to get out there. And that could be community events, that could be work conferences, or it could just be being social. Going out and making yourself available, whether it's at the farmer's market, whether it's at even a night out, or going out with a different circle of friends that's maybe through your work connections that they might have contacts through. So you need to be in attendance in order for things. And I always say life happens whether you go to the party or not. So maybe you should go to the party and see what opportunities are there. And when you're there, you need to have an elevator pitch already prepared. And an elevator pitch is a mini, I guess, bio of yourself that. And the reason it's called an elevator pitch is you should be able to walk into an elevator, and by the time you get to your floor, or the person you're talking with gets to their floor, you've already given them everything you need. So a quick introduction, what your title is or your role, and how that would influence what that person is doing. So for instance, hi, my name's Martin. I'm the supervisor of residence community programs and services, and some of my main duties are front desk operations, learning communities, community partnerships and outreach, as well as training and hiring of a number of staff. And here's how I can be of value to you. So that's a quick elevator pitch, obviously not as refined as you would want. And the last thing, number 5, is just be open. Some of the people out there are saying that the 21st century, the time that you're going to be graduating and going into work, many of the jobs that you will end up doing for a period of time or the rest of your life won't have existed up until now. The world's constantly changing, and you need to be open to that. Keeping to a plan that you made when you were a child sometimes loses sight of the fact that evolution in the world, in the job market, in the labor market is constantly changing, and it's helpful for you as students and young professionals to be open to an idea of changing. I would never have seen myself in this position, but it actually makes a lot of sense based on my interests and my skills, or exploring different opportunities, exploring living abroad and being able to navigate that market. So that was my last one, is be open. Okay? To quickly summarize in 10 seconds, 1, always keep a job search going. 2, plan your development and be intentional about your own learning. 3, Update your resume, keep it updated, use a long form and a short form resume for your success. 4, attend events and network effectively, rubbing shoulders with the top people. And 5th, be open. The world will throw you a ton of curves, and if you're open to it, it won't be as stressful than if you're closed off to it. So that's it for me. 5 professional development tips, and you'll see in the future how we've managed to get these tips into the Residence Life leadership training plan through your professional development plan. Hope everything's going well. Can't wait to learn with you. Can't wait to succeed with you. For now.